The holidays are a time for joy and celebration. All around the world, people take the time in winter to gather with their families around a fire and enjoy the warmth, the togetherness, the love. But there might be a few things that make this time less pleasurable. Dreadful, even. Too much time with family could potentially suck the holiday spirit right out of you. Let's talk about it. Merry Christmas and happy holidays to all who celebrate. In case you're new here, my name is SK and welcome to Heartstatic, the podcast where we tune into the background noise of our thoughts, feelings, and everything we're too afraid to say out loud. If you're watching this on YouTube, you'll probably notice a change in scenery. Instead of recording at the foot of my bed, I'm recording at the foot of my childhood bed, since I'm home for the holidays. Welcome! It's very purple in here. I'm also wearing a Santa hat. And if you don't celebrate Christmas, I hope you enjoy my red hat with berries on it and a pom-pom. Christmas and the holidays are such a big thing around the world. Like, especially in Europe, I feel they have these big concerts and festivals with all this brilliant lighting. And even here, there's, I'm sure you can think of a neighborhood or two near you where all the neighbors commit and make this beautiful light show around their houses, and you drive down it and it's just wonderful to experience. And it's all this big production. It's a huge thing. And even in stores, marketing starts for it, I think, November 1st, or maybe Halloween, maybe on Halloween when everybody's out trick-or-treating, they're like, go, hurry, before they notice, here, peppermint, here, chocolate, go! And it gives everyone months of preparation to really get into the mental spirit of Christmas before it's even too cold outside and before it's snowy and remotely Christmassy. It's all such a big thing. There's this big performance that we all, as a collective society, try to make Christmas and, winter holidays into such a big thing. In each household, everybody makes food and organizes who brings what, whose house it's going to be at, which recipes we're going to use. And I feel like this bit of pressure to perform deviates from what the holidays are meant to be. Everything is supposed to be perfect. Everyone wants a magical holiday. Everyone wants it to be lovely. I mean, with all the movies that talk about love and passion during the winter time, and all the songs that are all about Christmas and how beautiful winter can be, what else are we meant to expect from the holidays, if not beautiful winter wonderland perfection? I feel like the songs especially really get to us because, again, with marketing, November 1st, you hear Mariah Carey's voice on the radio. You go, ah... Don't want a lot for Christmas. There is just one thing I need. It's such an infectious feeling, getting sucked up into the winter holidays and how magical that Christmas can be. But this pressure, I feel like it brings a bit of tension. Everyone wants it to be perfect, so when there's one or a few things that might ruin it, it ruins it. And there are no songs for any other holiday. There's no song for Halloween, for Valentine's Day, for Thanksgiving, for New Year's, unless you want to count Auld Lang Syne, but they just got the one, So it's all, I think, an attempt to distract ourselves from how miserably cold it is, from how the weather is terrible, black ice. Also, black ice? I'm so grateful that I don't have to drive most of the time, but having to deal with black ice in the winter, can we just talk about that for a minute? If anyone has to drive during the winter time a lot, or just has to use a car to commute wherever, rip. Stay safe, please drive safe, and salt your roads. Because it's awful. And then it's dark by 4 p.m. and then you're driving home on black ice when it's dark outside. It's brutal. The winter holidays also give us a chance to pretend that our families are more functional than normal, just for a few days. My dad likes to tell this story. He tells a lot of stories, but in this one, he told me a story about a coworker, an old coworker of his, and they saw each other after whatever holiday it was, and so politely he asked his coworker, "Hey, how are your holidays?" And their coworker takes a sip of his coffee, deadpan, dead eyes. "We didn't even make it out of the car." And my dad's like, what do you mean you didn't make it? What do you mean you didn't make it out of the car?" He takes another sip of his coffee. And he says, "Yeah, so I was driving to my mom's house with my wife. We're the first ones there. My wife gets out of the car. I'm doing something on my phone. And my wife comes out, says, 'Hi, Mom.' And then we see other cars pull up. It's great. It's perfect. Everybody's coming in on time or roughly around the same time. And then my sister and her husband pull up. And my sister's husband is still driving the car. He hasn't even put the car in park yet when his wife swings open the door, starts throwing her finger into the air, pointing at my wife, saying, 'You bitch, you unfriended me on Facebook. How could you?' And just starts ripping into this woman. And the coworker's like, 'My foot's still on the brake. The gas is still running.' When my dad told me this, I asked him, like, well, what happened after that? Why did the wife unfriend the sister on Facebook? What happened?" And because my dad is unfortunately a man, he did not ask any follow-up questions. Or if he did, he doesn't remember. So, unfortunately, we will never know why that happened to that poor family. Or what happened after that, how the rest of that holiday went. I'd love to be in the fly on the wall to just see what happened during dinner. Just, is it like dead silent, just like silverware clinking against the dishes? "Someone pass the salt." And maybe your family's not like that. The worst thing that can happen on a holiday, on Christmas, is that the gift that you receive under the tree isn't the right color or the right size. Or your family's just like that. Or your family is worse. The pressure to make holidays special is hard to maintain. I mean, we want it to be perfect, but odds are, if you really only see your extended family on holidays, if something bad happens that requires confronting, like someone unfriending you on Facebook, then it'll have to come out during the holidays. Otherwise, what? You spend the day like nothing happened, like nothing's bothering you, with this weird tension, having it be quiet with silverware clinking past the salt kind of thing? Are we supposed to wait until after? Or until the next time you see them in person, which will probably be some other holiday or somebody else's birthday? Having to confront your family members during Christmas is hard. Maybe your family isn't like that. Maybe the worst thing that can happen on your holiday is the gift that you get is the wrong color or the wrong size, and everything's fine and dandy. Or maybe there's something similar that happened to you and your family. Or there's something worse. Maybe your family has the weird uncle that everyone dreads talking to. You just can't hold the conversation, or he holds the conversation all on his own. And you just gotta sit there and listen and try and grab a drink or go to the bathroom, and he's just, "Oh, I'll come with you." Or maybe mom decides to take it personally when somebody makes the same exact dish as her, because she always makes the crab cakes, okay? And maybe grandpa just can't help. He just can't help but say something a little racist or a little homophobic. Grandpa, no! Grandpa, you can't! Back in my day. Back in my day. He's like shaking at the table. He's shaking at the table. He's like, "I gotta tell them. They don't know. They don't know what it was like back in my day." Maybe you have a family member that starts the drama every year, and no matter how hard you try, you and maybe everyone else gets sucked into it. And the holiday gets ruined. There's just this unnecessary amount of tension, and that tension comes from the pressure to make it perfect. It's literally being shoved down our throats every November 1st, like, have a good Christmas, have a good Hanukkah, have a good Kwanzaa, make it all super perfect. And it's never going to be. If you're trying to make it perfect, it's never going to be perfect. Striving for perfection during the holidays, it's impossible, I think, especially if there's some people in your family who just need to make it about them, or they like to start the drama. And it makes the holidays dreadful, especially if it's something that happens every year, if it's a predictable behavior for one or a few people in your family to just start some shit. You know, there's this concept that always bothered me a bit. If someone in your family behaves poorly, and they suffer the consequences of whatever it was, and they're being held accountable, even if the consequence is just like you feeling upset over it, they tend to say, oh, I'm sorry, but like, you have to forgive me because I'm family. And then other family members like to join in sometimes, like, oh, honey, I know they upset you, but they're your brother, cousin, uncle, whatever. Grandpa Doug didn't mean it like that. He just grew up in a different time. Meanwhile, you've told Grandpa Doug how much whatever he says bothers you, and that it's inappropriate to say nowadays. This concept of like, well, you have to forgive them because you're family, is you're letting it slide, especially if like whatever they do, you would not let anyone else who's not related to you do. You wouldn't let a friend talk to you like that. You wouldn't let a partner treat you like that. This concept of they're your family, so it's fine, you have to forgive them, it allows people to brush everything under the rug, and then nothing gets fixed, nothing gets solved, and that relationship is already tainted. It's inevitable for a sense of resentment to grow between you and Grandpa Doug. And then every holiday gets ruined, every birthday, every time you have to get together with Grandpa Doug, it sours the moment. And that's not to say that familial loyalty should not exist. Of course not. We're ingrained biologically to feel protective of our families, and that's a beautiful thing. Absolutely. Like, I can say whatever the hell I want about my brother, but you say something, you're dead. You're dead. If somebody's hurting your sibling, parents, relative, whatever, you have every right to step up for them because they're your family in a way that you might not with a friend or a partner. It's this primal sense of protectiveness that's meant to happen, that's programmed to do that. And that's not what I'm talking about. That's important. That's necessary. But if you love your family, you should be able to confront them about bad behavior, a bad way of thinking, a series of things that they might say that's offensive, that's not appropriate. And if they love and respect you, if they appreciate you and are capable of not taking everything personally, they should be able to understand it as constructive criticism. Like, you're not out to get them. You are their family, therefore you want to help them become better people. They should be able to trust you and value your opinion and realize, hey, yeah, I should stop making comments about people's appearances. There's also this phrase that comes to mind when, as I'm talking about this, it's blood is thicker than water. And I'm sure you've heard this before. It means, in case you haven't, it means that blood, by being biologically related to someone, that relationship is more important than I guess water would be, chosen, somebody you choose to be in your life. So like friends, partner, mentor, whatever. The relationship that you have with your family is thicker, therefore more important, more valuable than anything else. That is the number one. That is the inner circle that you have. But that quote, that saying, that phrase isn't finished when they say blood is thicker than water. That's not the whole thing. And there are I think there's like a decent handful of phrases like this that it's not completed. So this one is, blood of the covenant is thicker than water of the womb. And you can Google this. You can look it up. I'm going to look it up, actually. Blood is thicker than water full... Yeah, you can Google it, because I'm right. I just Googled it, so I'm right. Anyway. So that means that blood of the covenant, blood of the promise, you are promising yourself to someone. It's speaking about your chosen family, the people you choose to be in your life. So first thing that comes to mind is covenant of marriage, of your partner, of a romantic relationship that you have. You promise to be with them, and hopefully you are not biologically related to your partner. Go check. Go check on Ancestry.com right now. Better be careful. But you are this is your chosen family, and the people that you choose to maintain relationships with, that is what's important. That is what makes up your inner circle, and that these people, you are meant to surround yourself with people who encourage you to grow, who encourage you, who can hold you accountable if for a behavior that you have that's bad and offensive, that can, stand up to you and make sure you're on the right path to become a better, a more well-rounded, and intellectual, and empathetic person. And water of the womb is obviously speaking about your family. That's not to say that everyone that the relationships you have with your family don't matter. or that they're less important. Absolutely not. But it might be possible that you don't get along with everyone in your family, or there are some people in your family who just, no matter how hard you try, they are unwilling to understand your perspective or accept that people are different or be willing to change their perspective. And it's like there's only so many times that you can confront them where it just feels like water. They just become water of the womb rather than the blood of the covenant. There are still people in your family who can become that blood of the covenant, who can be chosen. You can still choose your family. Sisters by chance, friends by choice. That's so cheesy, but I mean, in some... I hate the way that's phrased, but it's true. You can choose to maintain and to embrace the relationship you have with your family, but there are people who you just can't. Thinking about it like that might make it difficult to do anything about. Your family has been a part of your life since you were born. They helped you get to where you are today. You might feel indebted to that. And then it's possible that the family that you surround yourself with existed before you did. So it's like, who am I to separate myself to pick and choose who's blood and who's water? If there's someone in your family that does cause you discomfort or makes you feel negative or makes you dread the holidays, you don't necessarily have to cut contact with them, but you can make a boundary. And depending on what type of person this is, you might not want to say, hey, I'm making a boundary by not talking to you, because they might take it personally, which, well, they kind of should. But they might take it as a target. They might feel targeted by you, especially if they have a hard time understanding what it is that they are doing wrong or have done wrong. Or they might tell you, stop spewing that psychobabble and just dismiss your feelings. So it's worth considering. Make a quiet boundary for yourself and just hold them at an arm's length. Keep them in the water of the womb. If you don't feel that cutting contact is possible for you, and then that would mean that they're in your life still, that they go to all the holidays that you go to and spend all the time together that you would with your family, you might feel this pressure to dismiss your boundary, to be like, it wasn't that bad this year, so maybe I should just drop it and pretend like everything's fine, even though I've confronted them multiple times. There might be people in your family who push on to you, they're your family, why are you not letting them hug you when they want to? Whatever. And I encourage you to really focus on yourself and what you want to come out of this holiday. Spend this Christmas or this holiday season with your loved ones and remember what this time is meant to be about. Don't let the drama get to you, unless you live for it. If you live for it, good for you. I'm sure dinner is fantastic in your Christmas home. Invite me sometime. I'll bring the crab cakes if your mom's not making them. But you can't let somebody's negativity or toxicity ruin it. Yes, the whole holiday thing is being shoved down your throat, and you do want to make it perfect, which is an unachievable thing, but you can make it as close to perfect as possible. You can embrace the caroling songs and the traditions that your household may have without letting the people in your life make it bad. So embrace this holiday season with the love, with the cheer, with the joy, and make it your own. Make it how you want it to. There's some things that you might not be able to control with how it is, but don't let it affect you. Don't let it ruin the holiday spirit. That's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for listening. If you like my intro, outro music, they're made by my friend, Dari Kolchitsky. You can find more of his information at warmglowrecords.com. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to follow this podcast wherever you find yours. Also follow the Instagram at heartstaticpodcast, where I post questions, updates, and anything you want. Just DM me and let me know. You can also watch this episode on YouTube, as well as previous and future ones at Heartstatic on YouTube. Thank you so much for listening. Happy holidays, and I'll see you in the next episode.